did you know I was here?
Where else?
The German turned up yet, has he?
No.
Phony. Thank you, Heidi. I'm gonna have to talk to Jane Robson again.
We've been told to leave it, sir.
Is that a fact? Friedman was not a drug dealer. The Jap was. Friedman was involved with Jane Robson. They laid all this drugs lark. Planted that silly bloody jiffy bag. Story about a notebook. Can you imagine it? Every name of every contact. Well, you would, wouldn't you, if you were a dealer? Yes, what neither of them knew when they were setting him up as a dealer was that he really was one. And a big one, being watched. None of them villains. Not one. I tell you that. Not one real criminal amongst the lot. Apart from our Japanese, the only person appears to me to be outright villainous is Sir Wilfrid Mulrine, FRS. And he hasn't done anything. I'm sorry, Lewis. I'd like you to ferret around a bit more. Yes, she used to live in Christ Lane.
Who?
Jane Robson. I want to know more about her. I knew her father. She had a brother, I think.
You think? What did you talk about?
I know. Oh, he talked about music. Usual things. Life, music, books, music, crosswords, everything. Not a lot. I don't know anything about her. Except her father had had a stroke. Go on. It's not drugs. Something more than that. There's just one thing nagging me. Mrs. Warburton, last year, did you find a small book, a diary, and give it to Jane Robson? Come on, it's all right. She told me you did.
That's right.
Did you look in it? Read it?
I had a quick look.
What was in it?
I don't know. It was in Japanese.
Was it?
I don't read Japanese.
No, I don't suppose you do.
Something I could never master. The only Japanese I know is rudimentary and peremptory.
Yes. Thank you. Are there any other Japanese?
Oxford's full of them at this time of the year. Tourists, you see.
In college?
None.
Thought I saw one.
I think someone might try to kill me.
Why?
Well, that boy, dead. He was very like Jeremy Collins.
Go on. I can see you're frightened of something, Jane.
Is it silly of me?
No, but I can't help unless you tell me more.
Not here.
Do you want to come to the station?
No, why should I?
I just thought neutral ground, perhaps.
No, come to my rooms.
All right. No key?
No, your men are searching the college.
Not my men.
You weren't frightened on your own, were you, Alex?
No, not really. Thank you.
Chief Inspector, there's a call for you.
All right. I'm sorry. I better see what that is.
Oh, well, this is my room. I'll be in here.
Morse?
I think we found our German, sir.
Where is he?
Back up in Sunderland, I should think by now. His real name's Michael Robson. Brother of Dr. Robson?
How do you know?
His photograph here. And his daughter, sir. She's been waiting for him to come home. Christ Lane.
All right. Get yourself over here.
Who is it?
Chief Inspector Morse.
Worried about your brother?
What?
Gone back to Sunderland, has he?
I don't know.
Come on, Jane. I know you didn't murder Yukio Lee. You couldn't do that. Knife in the heart, mutilations. And there are people who can do such things when they're deranged with anger, but not you, Jane.
You're going to suggest my brother did it. As a matter of fact, he didn't.
What I suspect is that the person we all thought was Yukio Lee was someone else. Another Japanese. The real Yukio Lee was grabbed as soon as he arrived. Trussed, gagged, dumped somewhere and fed on orange juice and biscuits. Nothing else. And then your brother, perhaps with Graham Daniel, and the help of the Japanese hired to impersonate Yukio Lee, later murdered him. And then we all sat down to dinner, while the Yukio Lee double pretended to be ill. We all saw him pretending to be ill, having eaten nothing but orange juice and biscuits. I saw him. I was intended to be a witness.
My brother didn't murder him.
Who did? Not you.
No. You're right about the double. There was an accident. Yes, I think you can call it that. Yukio Lee tried to escape, and there was a struggle between him and the Japanese who was guarding him. They fought, and the Japanese killed Yukio Lee by accident. It was an accident. You can call it that. Michael, my brother, just
Did the finishing touches.
Michael was obsessed with hatred.
It was dreadful.
Was it? Do you know what happened to my father?
No, you didn't tell me.
Everybody knew.
I didn't.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Everybody knew what had been done to him. How he had been insulted. He's still alive, you know, the man who maimed my dear, dear, gentle father. Alive and protected by the Americans.
All right, Jane, all right.
It is not all right. We have done everything. We have written. We have threatened. We have done everything to have him put on trial for his crimes.
Who?
The man who tortured my father. He had him crucified in the camp. He was a scientist, too. An apology for one. He worked on the effects of gas on human beings, on Dutch, some American, some English, among them my father. The Americans got him, but they didn't get his research. So they asked him to work for them. Let him stay alive, free from prosecution as a war criminal. After all, he had the only useful knowledge of the effects of gas on human beings. Yukio Lee was his son.
Ah.
Yes. We couldn't touch the father, but we could get the son. Do you know how we found out? That evil man told me. The pleasure he took in telling me.
Who told you, Jane?
Sir Wilfrid. I was fond of Jeremy Collins, his son. I went to Sir Wilfrid to talk about him, to ask his help. He said some smart, cruel things about fathers and sons. And dropped the bombshells that Yukio Lee was the son of the man who tortured my father. I was shattered. I hardly knew him. It was just a face. But suddenly, sitting there was
Revenge.
Yes. I wouldn't have killed him. But I couldn't prevent what was going to happen once Michael knew. And I didn't try. I enjoyed planning it. The eventual killings. The mutilations. Somehow, far off, they wouldn't happen. What would happen would be that Yukio Lee would be frightened, humiliated. I never thought Michael would do it. Auntie Graham!
Who killed Graham Daniel? Your brother?
No! Graham Daniel was Michael's son. My nephew.
Your brother carried out the mutilations on Yukio Lee's body. A knife in the heart, stabbings in the hands and feet, his tongue cut out. Fathers have killed their sons, sons their fathers.
No, Michael wouldn't. Couldn't.
Do you read Japanese? Why did you set him up, Yukio Lee? Why did you go to such lengths? The cassette with the dope in it, the ridiculous story of the notebook. Or did you think perhaps nobody would care much about a drug dealer killed? Or perhaps you wanted to throw suspicion on Sir Wilfrid because of his son's death?
Yes, we thought it would confuse.
But we knew anyway. You didn't have to underline it. Yukio Lee was a drug dealer. You didn't need to set him up.
I didn't know he was.
Chief Inspector. Something's been found.
What? Well, what have they found?
Well, you did ask me to tell you, sir. A body.
Kurt Friedman.
Michael Robson.
Boss!
My God.